When we think about strength in sport, a very clear picture usually comes to mind. It's pushing through pain, getting back up when you're hurt, and carrying on when your body's telling you to stop. From a young age, we're taught to admire this strength, to respect resilience, to show that endurance is the true measure of character. But today, I want to challenge that definition, because I believe some of the strongest moments in sport don't look strong at all. Many people in sport are shown to be suffering alone. They suffer in silence because they don't have anyone to talk to, because they don't want to lose their place, because they don't want to let the team down. In sport, being available matters. Being reliable matters. Being tough matters. So, when you're injured, you're not just thinking about your body, you're thinking about your place in the team, your role, your reputation, your identity. So then injury becomes something to hide, something to minimize, something to apologize for. I want to look at this quote here. If I stop, I'm letting people down. This is seen in invisible injuries. If I get a concussion, I don't want to tell anyone because I want to play the next week. I want to carry on. I don't want to let the team down because I want to win. Even visible injuries can carry stigma. People worry about being labelled injury prone, about not being available. And this is exactly what happened to me. During a game one week, this is what happened. So that's me there. And you're probably thinking, what are you doing falling asleep on the floor? Well, I got concussed there, but nobody noticed except myself. So I decided not to tell anyone because I wanted to play the next week. I didn't want to let the team down and I wanted to carry on. And the next week after this game, I played again, but this time I was hit much, much worse. I was knocked out completely. And when I came around, I woke up, I opened my eyes, but I couldn't see anything. I couldn't move, I couldn't speak. And about 30 seconds later, the only thing I remember is that I couldn't remember my own mum's name. And I'm not alone. Professional sport medical staff believe that over 60% of concussions go unnoticed or unreported. Not because athletes don't feel them, but because they don't want to admit to them, because they're worried about being labelled soft or injury prone. This is where the stigma survives. This is what proves that people suffer in silence. People don't want to speak up. And that creates a horrific culture. But the thing about sport is sport doesn't just reflect culture, it can create it. So what does strength really look like? Strength at the minute looks like staying silent, looks like being quiet, looks like keeping yourself to yourself when something's wrong. But what if we change that? What if speaking up was about, what if strength was about speaking up about yourself? When you're injured, you say something to protect yourself and to protect those around you. This shift starts with language. When someone's labelled soft or injury prone, stigma survives. But if we change that to them being responsible, the stigma is no more. This can change the whole culture of sport. The next shift is normalization. If we prove that injury doesn't mean failure, that it's a lesson, then we can change the culture for the future to redefine the strength of sport for future generations. The final shift is leadership. When coaches, teammates, and role models speak up, they remove fear. They create a culture, and they change a culture that no longer serves the people inside of it. So, I want to change the definition of sport, because in sport, if you're injured and you stay silent, it can be more harmful than actually saying anything. So if we change the stigma in sport, if we change the culture that no longer serves anybody inside of it, we can change sport for future generations. So the next time someone says they're injured, even if they look fine, believe them, because the greatest harm in sport doesn't come from the injury itself, it comes from the silence that surrounds it. Thank you.